The first time we meet Maki, she is what we as shonen fans would describe as the stereotypical shonen hero. She has seemingly unattainable goals, she's gutsy, arrogant, and yet has a certain charm about her that brings many friends to her side. I think Gege Akutami wanted us to think of Maki as a potential main character of her own, detached from the story in a certain way, and in the latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, it is shown why Maki was made the way she was in the beginning. It's so that she could break free. Maki is an extremely stoic, headstrong, no bullshit person with baggage that drives her to prove her strength whenever she can. Her fight against her twin made me take actually her sister's side at first, but I knew later on that if anyone was faced with the ultimatum that she was given, they'd rather carve their own path. The world of Jujutsu almost feels like a separate one from the modern world that our characters are actually in. It is filled with old-fashioned and conservative rules and social cues that make you wonder why it is that they act like this. Our world is very alike to it in that whether it be social media, anime itself, or anything you consume, it's filled with a certain talk, maybe about our society declining, the discussion of gender, which by far has become more heated, at least in America, and Gege used that to make us feel for Maki and her sister. Maki barely has any cursed energy, while her sister has cursed energy, but while Mai has an OP cursed technique, she doesn't have enough energy to use it properly, and Maki has enough strength, durability, enhanced senses, and speed to catch a bullet, but it's just not enough in the world of Jujutsu. Along with this, even if she shows high strides, Maki's achievements are ignored and purposely pushed away by the clan that she chose to abandon, the clan she chose to rise up and beat one day. I think it's very clear that Maki would rather die than be subservient to anyone, even her own feelings. She refuses to see the only family member that would happily see her for years and instead chose to train. And while she's doing this to help Mai, over the years this has only strained their relationship more and more. She loses her family and gains friends, but as the series always tries to remind us, you may have friends, but in the end, when you die, you will die alone. And Maki wants to go down having done something with her life, while Mai just doesn't want to be part of the Jujutsu society at all. And while Maki shows great rise in power, if only slightly and due to help, she is forced to rethink her standing when she meets the monster that is Toji Zenin. Her, Nanami, and Naobito, the man who is the embodiment of the Zenin clan's sexist and horrible ideals, are fighting against the recently cursed womb, now turned disaster curse, Dagon. This spirit has the power to summon giant waves of water from nowhere and has a domain expansion so powerful that he not only took Nanami's eye, but Naobito's right arm, if I'm not wrong. This only shows how powerful Dagon is, as Naobito, as much of a scumbag as he is a special grade sorcerer, and the second fastest Jujutsu under Gojo, of course. If Gojo wasn't alive, he would be the fastest, yet even he stands no chance. But then a small light enters when Megumi arrives and throws a cursed tool to Maki that she uses to land a hit on the spirit, but then Toji soon arrives. The one scene that I love so much about all of this, included in this fight at all, is how Toji versus Dagon went, in the fact that he not only steals Nyobu from Maki, but when he sharpens it, it just kind of represents something different for me. We'll come back to this later at the end of the video. But as Maki watches Toji fight with not even a lick of cursed energy, it's like looking at a better version of herself, a man that shouldn't exist. Toji obliterates Dagon, and by this point, you may be wondering where I'm going with this. All this build-up for Maki, why am I talking about it in this way? It's because, well, after all of this, Maki and her struggles, it accumulates in her not only losing cursed energy, but her heart, aka her sister, Mai. And even then, she's just not strong enough. She beats Naoya, who told her she was nothing like Toji, and honestly, that's the part where I actually agree with them. A fundamental part of Maki just does not fit for her to become a true monster yet. And that shows in how she fights. Maki is an exceptional fighting prodigy for sure. Don't get me wrong, but whenever I see her fight lately, she does seem restricted. She seems uncomfortable, almost like she's holding back something on purpose. She doesn't fight like she should be able to. Maki isn't Toji. That doesn't matter, but there is one thing that she needs that Toji has that she doesn't. She needs freedom. Many other channels have covered this already, but as I think back on the fight and many other fights, it really shows, even with the power that the cursed spirit Naoya has, I thought he would be beaten quite fast because Maki not only beat his human self when she was massively hurt, but after she fought and destroyed the whole clan. For all intents and purposes, Maki should have crushed him, but she was thinking too much. And some people, rather than interpreting this as a mental weakness and block, say that Maki is a woman and thus she will never be as strong as Toji. Guys, you're watching fucking anime. Why did no one say squat when someone as skinny as Tatsuki could compete with guys twice her size and punch Ichigo, making him bleed? Why did no one say anything when Boa Hancock could rival the giants in strength? Why did no one say anything when every single female character with no muscle mass can show impressive feats of strength when it should make no sense? It almost made me laugh because seeing comments like that reminded me of the Zenin clan that discredit women in their clan. I'm not gonna call those people sexist. They're not sexist. Again, they're not sexist. They're thinking logically. But I think somewhere in the corner of their mind, they can't help but lower expectations of Maki's potential for the future. And the fact that she will surpass Toji and is currently as strong as him, it's just something that they kind of try to refute. I don't know why, but maybe it's just there. I don't think Gege planned all of this like an evil mastermind, but I know that he counts on people to underestimate her like how her whole clan did. Cursed energy is the embodiment of our collective fears, worries, griefs, and so many other emotions. Gojo once said that the greatest curse of all was love, but Toji and Maki have no cursed energy. When Toji was at his best, he was a puppet of carnage. When he repressed his feelings of his son, when he just didn't feel, he just let it go. I'm not saying that Maki should do such a thing exactly like him, but ironically, the way for her to move forward isn't to hold on to negative emotions and control herself. In Jujutsu Kaisen, it's so weird to say such a thing because, well, Jujutsu, she brings their emotions to the forefront and control it for power, but for people who don't have cursed energy, the best way to reach enlightenment is to not think like Gojo. You alone are not the honored one throughout the heavens and earth. You are but a speck of dust in a vast galaxy that we all reside in, but you don't need to be more than that. You just need to fight. Maki needs to let go of fears of having to protect Kamo in their current fight in the chapters. She needs to trust in this power that she has gotten. She needs to just fight for the sake of fighting, to climb for the sake of the fun of it, because screw it, you know? Maki is as strong as Toji, contradictory to the belief of others. She just needs experience and understanding that being free of cursed energy is also being freed of those negative emotions. When you are an entity that doesn't rely on cursed energy and quite literally thrive from that, the solution is to just smile and just let go. You heard me mention that Toji took Nyobu and sharpened it. The reason that scene is so ingrained in my mind is the fact that Toji doing something like this shows how much he truly does not care about Jujutsu society. The curse tool is supposed to be used one way. It is a 3-section staff, but even as a puppet of carnage, his hate and disregard towards the society and just everything, even himself, like he doesn't care about himself, he just wants to fight. It just seeps through. He just wants to wreak havoc. He used the sharpened ends of the 3-section staff and bathes it in the blood of Dagon with a smile on his face. Even as she is now, I think that to some degree, Maki is adhering to some part of Jujutsu. But I don't think that that's the way for her to go. The sharpening of the curse tool, for me, shows Toji's spontaneity and something that Maki needs to get stronger. When she learns all of what I just said, I think it's when she becomes a stronger monster than Toji, but hopefully she won't become a vessel for battle and carnage like him. It's been your boy, What Ifs, and I hope you enjoyed my anime rant. Peace. I'm gone.